General Patton caught a private snoozing under a jeep. "Soldier, are you napping or inspecting that axle with your eyelids?" Johnson jolted awake. Sir, just tactical rest." Patton crossed his arms. "Tactical rest? Is that a new training manual, or did you just write it during your nap?" Johnson replied confidently. "Sir, it's a secret technique. Helps you fight better after dreaming of victory." Patton raised an eyebrow. "What if you dream of defeat instead?" Johnson grinned sheepishly. "Sir, if dreaming can't help me find victory, then I'll just double my efforts with a different dream." With a smirk, Patton said, "Well, maybe you should work in the staff. Lots of great ideas, but all too far from reality." During an inspection, General Patton came across a group of soldiers who appeared to be meticulously aligning stones in a large open field. Intrigued, he approached the soldiers and asked, "What's the purpose of this stone formation, gentlemen?" One of the privates, trying not to show his nerves, replied, "Sir, we're arranging these stones to spell out 'welcome' in giant letters. It's so when enemy planes fly over, they'll think they've already captured this area and won't bother bombing it." Patton looked at the stones, then smirked. "Creative. But don't you think the enemy might just send a thank you note instead?" One of the soldiers, looking confused, replied, "Sir, if they do, should we write back or just wave?" Patton shook his head, chuckling. "Let's hope it doesn't come to that, soldier. And next time, use sand. That way, if they don't like the welcome, you can quickly write, 'sorry.'" General Simpson came across a soldier sitting on an overturned crate, casually eating an apple. Simpson barked, "Soldier, why aren't you out there helping your unit dig that trench?" The soldier, startled, quickly stood and saluted. "General, well, I thought I'd save my energy for when the real digging starts, sir." Simpson frowned. "And what makes you think the digging isn't real now?" The soldier's forehead began to sweat. "Well, General, if I save enough energy, maybe I'll be ready to dig extra fast when it really counts." In a commanding but sarcastic tone, Simpson replied, "Well, it looks like we've found ourselves a master hole digger here. I'll make sure the rest of the men hang back in hammocks to conserve their energy while we all watch just how incredible your digging skills really are." While riding around, General Patton noticed a group of soldiers painting something large on the side of an old barn. Curious, he rode over and asked, "What are you men up to?" One soldier quickly replied, "General, we're painting Patton's army was here in giant letters so the enemy knows exactly who they're dealing with when they show up." Patton cracked a rare smile and said, "Not bad, but how about we let them find out the hard way instead of giving away the surprise?" Another soldier replied, "Sir, we thought about that too, but we were afraid that if we let them find out your hard way, you'd soon run out of enemies to defeat." Patton burst into laughter and responded, "Optimism is good, son. Let's just hope our enemies can read English. Otherwise, they might come up with something bizarre about my name." General Patton came across a soldier carefully painting a red stripe down the side of his helmet. Patton stopped in his tracks and barked, "Soldier, what in the devil are you doing?" Calmly, the young soldier replied, "General, it's advanced psychological warfare." Patton frowned. "Psychological warfare? That stripe's a bullseye." The soldier nodded confidently. "Exactly, sir. The enemy will aim at my helmet, but by then I'll have ducked. It's all about misdirection." Patton stared for a moment, then burst out laughing. "You've got guts, son. Just make sure your helmet ducks faster than you do. If you survive this war, you may have confused many enemies to death." While inspecting the troops, General Simpson noticed a young soldier with an unusually bright and shiny helmet. Curious, General Simpson approached the soldier and asked, "Private, why is your helmet so shiny?" The nervous private snapped to attention and replied, "Sir, I polished it, sir." Simpson raised an eyebrow, his face as stern as ever, and said, "And why did you do that?" "Sir," the private stammered, "I wanted to make sure it reflects the enemy's bullets, sir." The troops nearby stifled their laughter, and even General Simpson couldn't help but crack a smile. "Well, Private," he said, "if that works, we might have to polish all our helmets. And if it doesn't, at least we'll blind them with our brilliance. Carry on." While General Montgomery walked through the camp, he spotted soldiers gathered around a strange device resembling a bicycle radio hybrid. Curious, he asked, "What in the name of the king is this contraption?" A young private eagerly replied, "Sir, it's our new secret weapon for communicating with headquarters. We call it the pedal radio. It works by pedaling to generate the power needed to send messages." Intrigued, Montgomery asked, "And how do you ensure it sends the message to the right person?" The private, stumped, hesitated before a quick-witted corporal jumped in. "Oh, that's easy, sir. We just keep pedaling until someone answers, and if it's not for them, they pedal it along to the next chap." Montgomery chuckled. "A rolling radio? Make sure it doesn't roll all the way to Rommel's doorstep." Then he added, "Well, at least you'll keep fit while saving the Empire." One sunny afternoon, General Patton, deep in thought about his next maneuver, took a leisurely horseback ride. As he trotted through the countryside, he encountered a herd of curious cows. Most would have passed by, but not Patton. With his characteristic bravado, he decided to engage them in conversation. "Good afternoon, ladies," he greeted them with a grin, surprising his soldiers. The cows, startled, stared at Patton, wide-eyed. Undeterred, Patton continued, "I couldn't help but notice your fine grazing lands. Tell me, what's your strategy for defending against the enemy?" His soldiers exchanged bewildered glances, unsure if their commander had finally succumbed to the stress of war. One particularly bold cow mooed loudly in response. Patton, taking it as a sign of agreement, nodded sagely. "Ah, I see. Vigilance and motivation. Excellent.